Welcome back, everyone, to Property Podcast today. I'm your host, Lee Dahill, as you know, and I've got a very special guest, Jamie. Jamie has been working iamproperty for a long time. Some exciting things have happened. Big things, purchases of other companies and things. I'm going to let Jamie tell you about them before I ask him any questions. So, Jamie, I've started to do the introduction, and I want you to finish it for me. So, Jamie, tell me some stuff.
Hello, Lee. Thank you for having me. Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Jamie Cooke, co-founder of iamproperty. I run I Am Sold, which is the auction division within iamproperty. For my sins, it's been keeping me out of trouble for 15 years now. But yeah, we've been busy. We've been busy as of late. We've had a couple of acquisitions. In the last, one this year, we acquired Information Works, which we've recently relaunched as the iamproperty marketing toolkit. We have acquired, that must be 2 years ago now. We acquired VT UK, the CRM business, which we again just relaunched as iamproperty CRM. And then in between that, we acquired the auction network from one of our competitors in the auction landscape, SDL. So that's been fun. Kept us busy. All of them so far have been a real success, and we're really happy with how things have gone. So not in a bad place.
I think the VT UK and the Information Works is a fantastic purchase in terms of having the CRM and then having a marketing tool, as in what Information Works rebranded, obviously, to go together. I think is a great move.
Yeah, I mean, look, there were key strategic acquisitions for us. We're looking at the whole iamproperty offering and what we represent to the industry, and how we can help agents do more, be more efficient, be more effective, and technology plays a big part of that. So, we're at the beginning of what we're calling the iamproperty ecosystem, and those two acquisitions were key to that journey. So it's all about knitting them together at the moment, and building on our product offering to the industry. So yeah, we're having a lot of fun. Having a lot of fun.
Jamie, my talk today with you is on the auction side of things. So my first question for you is on the landscape, and how does that look in general at the moment?
Yeah, I think it's pretty positive, I have to say. The auction landscape holistically has been changing over the years. It's becoming more mainstream, more widely used, more widely discussed in traditional residential estate agency. Agents are leaning to it and looking to use it more because it can give them more ways to engage with clients, more ways to help them win and retain business. So I think as an industry, it's becoming more mainstream. More agents are working with businesses like I Am Sold, as part of the iamproperty group, to incorporate auction into their suite of service offering, because it's an absolute no-brainer. I think from a consumer perspective, I think there's still a long way to go. There is, no qualms, don't try to hide it. There is still a bit of a stigma that auction is only for a certain property type or a certain scenario where someone is absolutely desperate to sell, or there's a really negative reason as to connected to the property where it just needs to be disposed of as quickly as possible. And we're really trying to break those barriers down, and we're doing a good job. But we've got a long way to go. So I think in general the landscape holistically really positive. It's growing year on year. Certainly we're growing year on year, and the agents in our network are doing more and more each year, which, from our perspective, we can only say as a positive. We want auction to become far more mainstream and serve more of the overall transactional marketplace that we currently do.
No, I can see that, Jamie, and I think you're right in terms of the marketplace education as to what is seen as an auction property. And I think it's always just been the way that people have thought about it over the years is that type of thing. So I definitely think it's a good thing to try and educate it that it is another solution in terms of being able to tie up a property within a certain amount of time. You don't have to have all of those things. You can do online auctions, all of those things that come with it. And I think that it's a good way to look at it, that you're doing a good job in educating it.
It's an education is one of the biggest elements of it, be that our agent network, be that the overall industry, or be that the consumer. There's a long journey we need to go down to dispel an awful lot of myths about what auctions are. In the cold hard light of day, auction is a solution that offers speed and security to a seller or a buyer, and you're not getting a lot of that from private treaty at the moment. Time scales are getting longer, deals are getting shakier. There's more sales falling through on a private treaty basis, and if you're a consumer who wants to move forward with a timeline in mind, auction is a serious consideration and should be given that serious consideration. And ultimately, that starts with us empowering our agents to expand their knowledge and give them the tools to get that message across to consumers in the right way at the right time.
Yep. And Jamie, so you told me about the landscape in general at the moment. What does that landscape look like for iamproperty?
Yeah, I mean, we're having a great time of it at the moment, I have to say. So I'm Sold is sort of the heritage of iamproperty. It's where we started out back in 2009. Last year was a fairly pivotal moment for us. We sold as an individual entity. We sold over 1% of all of the properties that sold in the UK last year. So one in every 100. Yeah, it's some. That's a bit of a pinch me moment for us to think that one in every 100 of the second-hand homes that were sold in the UK last year was sold via our office. It's an amazing achievement, but I think it's testament to the points we made about the overall landscape and the fact that the market is growing at such a rate. So we're pleased with that. I mean, we've just closed out Q2. We sold 2,700 and something properties to just under $500 million in capital value, which is up about 20% on the same quarter last year.
That's good.
So we're on track at that run rate to do somewhere in the region of $2 billion capital value of property sold in the UK this year through I Am Sold, which is in itself is a huge milestone, but it's testament to the team that we have here. From our admins through to our completion specialists, our auction specialists, our tech team that give us the platform to be able to do it. So we're in a pretty good place at the moment. I have to say, glad to have the election behind us. I think we're all probably glad. Depends what side of the political landscape you find yourself on. But no one likes instability and change. No. And ultimately, we have a Labour government. This is great. Let's just crack on. It's in the rearview mirror. Let's get back to business.
Couldn't agree more. And we won't discuss any politics because you lose friends over it. I couldn't agree more. No one likes the uncertainty. What's happening? What's this? What's that? Now people can deal with what's in front of them and move forward. And I couldn't agree more with that's the best outlook for it. And I hope everybody else has the same. So the thing I want to ask you is around last quarter. Has there been any challenges for you and in the auction side of things?
I mean, I would pinpoint the election probably as the main thing, really. We saw a softening in the market in the weeks leading up to it, which we always expect to see. We work with over 5,000 branches across the length and breadth of the country in terms of providing them an auction solution. So we analyze their data, we see what they bring to market, and there was a softening, and ultimately we are impacted as they are impacted. So if they're out seeing less, listing less, then as a direct result of that, we see less and list less because we are their partner and their solution for auction. So would I say it was a challenge? No, we kind of expected it. We have to pivot certain elements of what we do and how we operate and how we communicate. But it's such a brief window. We've already noticed that, stability's kind of back. I'm really quite positive on the outlook going forward. But yeah, if there was something to pinpoint, I would say it was the election.
Okay. I
But
think
yeah,
that's fair. I think that's fair.
in
And I
the
think
in the rear view mirror,
it is. It is. It is.
which is just nice.
It
Nice
is. And
place to be.
I know we touched on it earlier, but I want to ask you about the current customer viewpoint on auctions and what you think that is.
I think when a consumer understands, if they're led on the product and the features and benefits that it brings, and uh, you consumers very quickly can understand that this is a solution that really can work for them. If you've got a seller who's motivated to sell for a specific reason, they need to move for a relocation, or they're downsizing, or they're upsizing because they're young family and they're expecting. Once they understand that auction isn't scary, it's not dirty, it's not for fire damage, run down, difficult houses to sell. It's actually a solution that gives real tangible benefits. That they love it, but it's the education piece.
Mm-hmm.
What we see is that our agent networks are growing month in, month out in terms of their instructions for auction and their sales for auction. So I think a lot of the work that we're doing as a business and the industry collectively in that education piece on auction is working, because more consumers are turning to it. But I do come back to that point. We have got a bit of a long way to go. It would be remiss of me not to mention most people's view of auction comes from the BBC TV show Homes Under the Hammer. That's most people's understanding. Unfortunately, that is the education piece for all too many consumers as what auction is. But actually, you look at what that is and the storyboard for every single show. I mean, it must have been running for 20 years. But it's the story of a buyer who buys a property for not an awful lot of money, spends very little on it, and makes a whopping profit. Mm-hmm. That is the MO of the story every single time. What it doesn't tell you is the story of the seller who listed the instruction because they needed to sell quickly for a particular reason, who sold the property over reserve, who secured a buyer with a legally binding reservation fee or deposit and got a completion within the window that they wanted. It doesn't tell that side of the story. So unfortunately, that's what we're fighting against from an education perspective. So, like I say, we've done well. I believe that in the main, consumers' habits are changing and their understanding and knowledge is increasing, but there's still work to do.
Yep, I agree, and I think you're right with the Homes Under the Hammer, unfortunately. But it's through education, and I think that education is something I want to ask you on in terms of the agents and positioning, for helping them with mentioning maybe to the consumers. How do you help an agent and position that?
I mean, I would like to say that's where we are poles apart to other suppliers out there in the space. It is our absolute bread and butter to help agents, for them to grow their auction business. Now, that starts with dedicated resource, dedicated teams, dedicated auction specialists and account managers and relationship managers to help them fully embed the proposition into their business. But it doesn't stop there. They've got to have the right point of sale material, the right marketing campaigns in their livery, in their branding, in line with their brand guidelines and their marketing messaging, to help them tell their market who they are, what they do, and the benefits that auction can bring for them. But then, that's a never-ending exercise. It's always, like I say, about education, about training, about understanding, and about knowledge. And our account management teams work tirelessly with their dedicated agents to do just that. But then you look at the tools that we provide, our success hub. So we've got a full LMS e-learning blended platform that's got all of the modules that anyone would need to become an auction expert on there. We're working on new content for that on an ongoing basis. We've got ongoing webinar calendars and diaries to help agents increase their knowledge, or perhaps an agent's got a new starter and they want to just bolster their understanding. And we've got all of those tools. And then, of course, to go a little bit off topic from pure auction, but the iamproperty group, we've obviously acquired Information Works earlier this year and rebranded it as our marketing toolkit. Some of the features in there to help agents grow their market share, to help them do some really clever targeted marketing on not just auction opportunities, but all forms of opportunities in their locality, to help them win instructions, to help them get market appraisals. But with an auction lens, we've got some really, really interesting campaigns that agents can set up to run to help them to generate instructions, to generate appraisals, to grow their market share. So there's a whole host of things that we do, from very traditional account management right up to really making technology work hard for us and for the agent to help them in that space.
Now, I like the way that you're helping them with tools to support them. I think that's really good. I think that's needed for helping them to educate and helping them with speaking with helping them to get their vendor to understand as an option, as it helps everybody. If it fits the right criteria of the right person, it makes sense for the whole thing.
Some of the messages that we can use and give agents the tools to use through the marketing toolkit around speed and security, about no selling fees. Agents have the choice to put the right message to the right people at the right time, and I suppose the goal for the agent is to create that opportunity to get a market appraisal. And now we know they're not going to win all of those instructions for auction, but if the messages from auction helped our partner agent get them in the front door to then understand the vendor's needs and wants from the sale or the potential of a sale, then that's a great thing, because ultimately the messaging of auction blended as part of their service offering has enhanced their business in some capacity. So there's a lot they can do, and obviously our marketing toolkit's a complimentary service for anyone who works with any of our products in the iamproperty suite. So definitely worth a look.
Jamie, I want to ask you about the future. So I want some predictions on the auction landscape for the remainder of the year. What are your predictions? I like the future.
I'm hoping for a really positive end to the year. We touched on the fact that no one likes instability from changes of government and whatnot. Like we've said, it's done, it's dusted. We can move forward with confidence. I think that helps all markets in the country, and as a result of that, I think we will see some stability. I'd like to see an interest rate drop sooner rather than later, because I think that's going to help. That's going to help everyone. Whether it's a prediction or whether it's a hope, I'm hoping for a strong market for the rest of this year and on into 25. And that's obviously going to benefit everyone. Hopeful for a fairly consistent market. Obviously, we've got an autumn statement to contend with once summer's out of the way. It's going to be interesting to see what comes out of that. But the Labour government that we've got now, so far, I've been pretty impressed with what's coming out of them. They're making an awful lot of noise around improvements in the planning arena. They've made some bold claims about the number of properties they want to build. Changes to greenfield, brownfield, grey, whatever they've called this new context. So there's some real positives to take from that, because the more houses that are built, I think just has a hugely positive effect on the overall number of transactions that we will see collectively, which again benefits everyone. We want positivity in the industry. I think we have a role to play in talking that up. We can talk ourselves down and spiral all too often, but I think I'm going to put a positive slant on it, and I'm thinking we're in for a good, strong finish to the year.
Jamie, I like it. And I
Don't
like it a
quote
lot.
me. Don't come back to me if there's a problem. All right, this is it's not on me.
I won't hold you to it, but I do want to ask you about the sort of material information still being a big topic of focus for agents. What are your views on material information?
Yeah, I mean, look, it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense that when we're bringing a property to market, we should collect everything that we can so that agents can facilitate a consumer making that correct, informed transactional decision. Now, that's a nice, shiny, positive view on it, but it does mean that an estate agent has an awful lot to do in the collation of that data, packaging of that data, and how they then make that available to consumers. I think we probably all collectively agree it's the right thing for the industry. I think it's something that we can really help agents with. Some of the things that we've got in our Move Butler platform, which is our onboarding and compliance solution, we capture an awful lot of that information, an awful lot of the information that would be required for an agent, a consumer to make an informed transactional decision. Plus, you look at what we've got through our property reports in our marketing toolkit, the combination of both of those things effectively covers everything that an agent would need. And just watch this space in terms of how we're going to start packaging that up to help agents. These things come, changes in legislation, and I think often, as an industry, we see it as just another admin burden. But I think it's a big opportunity for agents to work with the right partner to ensure that it's not an admin burden, it's an easy process, and that it's packaged and positioned in the right way. That ultimately, if you look at what it's trying to achieve, it's trying to make sales happen faster and reduce fall throughs. And actually, the more upfront information we can collect, the easier suppliers like us can make it for agents, the better. So it's here; it's not going anywhere. Let's just let's look at how we can use it to our advantage.
I like it. Now, my last question I'd like to end on for the future. So, in my part introduction, which I got you to finish for me, I said about the partners that have joined and the stuff that you've been doing, which I've loved watching the journey and seeing it grow. So, what's next for iamproperty?
So yeah, we've been busy on the acquisition trail. Last year we did another round of private equity, so we brought in some new partners in the group, which has been a really great exercise. They really buy into the vision. This next phase for us is about pulling together all of the key components of the journey. We want to be able to deliver a solution to our estate agents to help them save time, make money, everything in one system, in one platform. We know agents are fatigued by having to deal with multiple suppliers, double entry of information on different platforms. So we want to create a seamless end-to-end platform that allows an agent to manage a transaction from prospecting through to onboarding, through to compliance, manage the whole transactional journey, manage their third-party relationships with conveyancing, all in one simple journey, one simple platform that just makes their lives easier. It's easy to say, but we believe we've got the right level of assets in the business, the right people, the right team, and now with all of the acquisitions that we've made, we've got all the key component parts that will enable us to pull that together and start delivering on that. And we've got a couple of agents in our network already that are using all of our products of our suite of products, and they're starting to see some real tangible benefits. And we're only at the beginning of the journey. So I'm really excited. It's one of those where you don't want to wish your life away, but I'd love to just fast forward the next 18 months and actually see all of the component parts of the roadmap delivered and operational, and what that would mean for us, but also for our network. So yeah, exciting times ahead.
You've totally got the right suite of stuff to put it together. You've got it from the prospecting right at the very start with the most recent acquisition. You've got the fact that you can manage it. You've got the fact that you can do every single aspect from literally nothing, from someone who's not even ready to move. You've got that fact that you could go and target them, get them ready, get the agent in the room, then manage it through the CRM, then posting. I think it's fantastic. I love the vision of doing it all through one thing, and you can use all of those things from start to very finish. Not
Yeah,
use a bit of
it's
this one,
exciting.
bit of that one, then we can plug it in there, and then it comes back out there. It's just all in one. I think it's great.
I mean, agents just
Great
want
vision.
that simple system that works for them in the right way. It's intuitive, that they can control the workflows and manage it. That's bespoke to them. And yeah, we're at a really exciting stage of our journey. So yeah, it's been fun, but let's see what the next few years bring.
Jamie, I think that we should end the show there, and I think I will hold you to 18 months time. Well, I'll have you on before then, but I will hold you
Right,
to
yeah.
fast forward 18 months and see where we are. That'll probably
Stick
be
it in the diary.
my opening questions. So 18
Have you
months
done it?
ago, have you done it? That'll be my opener. But look,
Yeah,
Jamie, thank you so much for taking the time out. I'm very, very appreciative, and it was great having you on the show.
my pleasure. Thank you, Lee, and look forward to catching up soon.